Of these sets of earmuffs, the ones I really like about one of them is because one of them are very nice because they're a nice colour and shade and a picture on them. All the others, they are electricity and they don't have a picture. So that's the difference about these. I really like the yellow ones.
All right, g'day everyone. I am back at this good old review bench. So Verity and I are here with a whole stack of different hearing protection, and yeah, we've been lucky enough that some people have sent us a couple of pairs of hearing protection to test out and try. Verity does have her own hearing protection, but we've now got the upgrade to electronic hearing protection for you. So we have got a bunch of different types here, and I've got a wild card that I will break out when we are down at the range. But today I'm going to be using the Verny Caron Speedline, the lever release rifle, with the PARD DS3570 RF on it. And I'm going to do a function test on my first rifle and see how it's going, that it's got a new barrel, and if that's up and running well, I'm going to be moving the PARD onto it and dropping the ring height. So, yeah, before we get down to the range, we will talk quickly about our headsets and then we will get down to them. First set of hearing protection I've got is a pair of Walker razors. These have got their standard ear cups, which are the plastic, not a gel type, and these are just a pair of passive earmuffs, so there's no amplification at all, but one of the advantages is that it seals fairly well. Now, I'm not wearing my shooting glasses, I'm wearing my reading glasses, and I've got a normal hat on, but they work just like any normal earmuffs. Now, the change would be if I put a pair of my Wiley X twisted glasses on, and you can break the seal a little bit here where your glasses come over. So there you go, Verity, you can try that pair on. Okay. Let's get that down all right for you. That's as small as they'll go. They're fitting all right? Good?
Yep.
Let's get on to the next pair. All right.
That's that pair done.
So that's the only pair of passive earmuffs we've got. We're going to then compare that to our Walker Razor Electronics. Now, I've put the gel cups onto these, and I'm just going to make sure I've got them at the right size. Slip them on, and now I do have some amplification on it, and initial thoughts with this is everything is a bit tinny, but there's a really big echo in here with these. Now I'm going to go from my reading glasses over to my normal work/shooting glasses. Now, with the gels, they are a lot more comfortable, and we're not going to really be able to tell much of a difference until we get down and start shooting. But I can hear a small bit of interference. Now these, I believe, have got a audio jack, a 3.5, if you wanted to be listening to music while you're shooting, or you can have your audio in from your two-way. All right, so there you go, kiddo. How are those?
Good.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Much better than the other pair? How about if I clap? Did you hear the whole clap?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so we'll turn those off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, let's get on to the next pair. We're going to go on to the Howard Lights. Now, these have also got the gels on. I prefer it, especially for with my glasses. So just without my glasses at all, I'm going to give these a crack, get these down. Now, the Walkers and the Howard Lights both use AAAs. And I've got the same sort of audio quality. The fit's kind of okay. And yeah, again, can't really tell you much else. It's not pinching or pushing me too much here in the head. So we'll give them to Verity and I will get on to the next pair. Because with my glasses on and off, and now this is something I've noticed with some other headsets is the damage you get when you shove your sunnies in. But I've usually got my glasses on before I put my muffs on, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the glasses on, these ones are actually pushing a bit more, and what's that? That's the ear cup for the battery. How's that?
Good.
We'd squeeze them up a little bit more for you, wouldn't we? Yeah. Good. All right. Comfy enough?
Yep.
Great. So now we're going to step to the next headsets. Now we are definitely stepping up a fair bit in price here. So these are the Sordin Ace. Now these, we'll get onto that in a bit. These are a pretty decent feeling type of headset. Your batteries are in a screw compartment, not in a clip on the outside. I've got the gels on, and the DEET insect repellent does eat your gels, so be careful with that. So they are cupping, they're sort of just on my ear. I'll turn them on. And I've got a very positive audible tone when I turn them on. That's not just the click of a dial. I'm at maximum volume here, but I can hear Verity tapping. It is a bit louder. I can hear that, Verity. Yeah, you've kind of got a bit of an echo. I can definitely hear those flies further away from me, and I can hear even just scratching my own finger. So they've got variable audio level, and I like to have my mics to the front, just so I can hear things coming at me from in front. But yeah, these are pretty good. And then with the glasses, they are comfortable enough. It's not pushing in on the glasses at the back here. It's sort of just resting on the outside, and I've still got a seal. But again, until we get down there and start punching rounds out, we're not going to really know. But let's give them to the miss. Do you want a hand with those?
Yes, please, Dad.
So these ones are a big slider at the top here. Oops.
And these earmuffs are very nice when they've got electricity, because then you can hear what's coming.
Is that's on? Good. Is that better?
Yep.
Nice and comfy?
Yep.
And you can hear me really well.
Yep.
Even when I'm whispering. All right. So, next headset. Now turn these ones off and press. Now we've got the more expensive end of things, but these are ADF issued Pelt or Comtacs, so these have got a little bit of age to them, and I've put new ear cups into them. So they're missing the foam, but they still work quite well. And they've got a single spot for your power, two two buttons you press and hold, and then you're on. They are very comfy. They come all the way over your ears. Flicking the glasses on, you break that ear cup a little bit, 1,000, 2,000, and when you let go, they beep, and then you're good. Now, these are pretty clear, crisp, and good. Now, you just got to remember that these are a good 12 to 14 years older than these other types we've got here. But they are extremely good. And you've got your volume up and volume down here. It doesn't give you any tones at all, but we are looking at older tech. And they still make them, and they still work. So while we are also here, I've got a pair of headphones that were audio type, but they were the IsoTunes Safe Max. Now, these were actually rubber, and you could put them in your ears and shoot nice and easily, and you could listen to music, have phone calls, everything else like that. But the issue I had with these is they actually fell apart, the buttons melted, and I'd find that having these in all the time, you start to sweat a fair bit and it would irritate your ear canals. Then we've got a pair of yellow ears, and I've got some Surefire passive but active, like a silicon diaphragm in them, and I don't have the Comtac, the 3M combat arms. They are gone, but they weren't terribly effective, I'll be honest. So I've got the rebarreled original rifle of mine, and I'll break that out when we get down to the range. But I'm going to see if there's any issue between the PPU and the PMC bronze ammo, just like we found with the Wedgetail. So, just before we go down to the range, I just want to say a quick thank you to Australian sporting agencies for providing us with a whole load of optics to test out and demonstrate on the channel. And I am a big fan of this PARD optic. So we are going to be doing a big review on some PARDs and go through the pros and cons of them, but you've all seen this thing in action. Since we're on a safety episode, I would like to quickly interrupt this for something about eye protection, because it is critically important to have good eye protection, particularly when you're shooting, because things can go wrong. You can end up with stuff in your eyes, and I'm a huge advocate for wearing good eye protection because I didn't have to wear glasses all the time. It was only after an accident that I ended up having to wear prescription glasses. Now, the accident wasn't directly related to my eyes, but you start to appreciate them when they start to deteriorate. So, I want to say thank you to eyesports.com.au for always looking after my prescription glasses needs. As anyone with prescription glasses knows, it can be difficult finding affordable prescription glasses of top quality. So first off, the ease of ordering from eyesports.com.au is fantastic. The website is user-friendly and the process is straightforward, making it easy to choose the perfect pair of glasses. When it comes to your prescription, they've got you covered. Even if you don't have a copy of your current prescription, iSports will even contact your optometrist to get it for you. One thing I really appreciate is the accuracy of their lenses. They get it right every time, ensuring that my vision is perfect with each new pair. The speed of delivery is also impressive. No matter where you are in Australia, iSports ensures fast shipping, so you won't be waiting long for your new pair of glasses. Customer support and service are top notch. The team at iSports is always ready to help, providing excellent service every step of the way. iSports offers a range of quality products, whether you're looking for something sporty, stylish, or practical. They've got something for everyone. As a local business, iSports.com.au supports our community, and it's great to know that I'm shopping local. And importantly, their glasses feature shatterproof, impact-resistant polycarbonate prescription lenses, giving me peace of mind knowing they're both safe and durable. So if you're in need of a new pair of prescription glasses, I recommend that you check out eyesports.com.au and save yourself a couple of bucks, because I've definitely wasted a lot of money trying out different online prescription services. And when I stumbled across iSports, I was so impressed that I've got to tell everyone. So that's how I make sure that my eyes are covered. So that's how I know that my eyes are covered when I'm shooting and doing any of the other work around the station. But let's go find out how and which pair of these noise cancelling headphones are my favourite and my preferred, and which ones I reckon that if you're in the hunt for a new pair of earmuffs or you want to take that step, which ones I hopefully will save you money on. Let's get down there and put some lead down range. Right, so we're using rifles for this test and this demo. So Verity is going to pick a pair that she's going to wear while we're doing this, and I'll use those last. But the first pair that we had, yellow ears, I use them all the time. So I'm going to compare everything back to those. Now, those are non-electronic. Which ones do you prefer?
Electronic.
Which electrics do you want to use? But use the last pair, this pair, and then we'll swap back, okay?
Yep, okay.
So let's get this pair on you. Did it beep?
Yep.
And you can hear me nicely?
Yep.
Good. All right, so you're going to sit over there.
Yep.
Just out of the sun. Which chair do you want?
This one.
Right, is that a good spot for you?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to grab the rifle. We're going to be using the speed line. I'm going to put it in the bog pod there, and we're just going to punch a target, and I'll use a laser rangefinder. We're about 104 meters away.
I definitely think so. We're 4 meters away.
All right.
So what headset are you going to have?
I'm going to start at our cheapest pair, which is our non-electronic one.
So your yellow ones?
Yeah. All right, so yellow pair, nice and light, nothing very fancy. They've got a little snake on the side of them.
Yep. And they match your glasses.
They match my glasses?
Yep.
What, because they're yellow?
Yep.
All right. 4 rounds.
All right.
Now before I load her up, I'm just going to try something here, like get my focus half right. Now, one of the things I want to do here, and I'm going to go for red. All right, cool. So, we're ready. You've got your ears on. They're on?
Yep.
Right, let's see how these standard ears go. Huh. Right. Something to note there, people, is the bog pod is not the best things like this. Right, we've got no data card in this rifle. Right. So, Yeah, I wouldn't say they're anything super substantial or anything. They're just like a normal pair of earmuffs. Let's load up another 4. What do you reckon, Verity? How'd yours go?
Yeah, they were so loud.
Really loud?
Yeah.
When you're sitting next to me shooting? Right.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to try? You put these ones on.
Okay. And you have those ones.
No, I'll go those last. So you go your yellows. Get them on nice and comfy. Now I'm going to go for the electric razors with the gel. And whichever way these turn on, the dial. I'll work it out eventually. Yep, now I can hear all the flies. Okay, so you're good to go, Verity?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I can certainly hear the flies.
Mm.
The action seems to seize up a little bit in the bog pod because it's squeezing the slide rod.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so I get like a real, it's almost like a wisp sort of a noise as I'm shooting that. Like I'm getting a lot of wind noise and it's cutting out on the wind noise, but it's hard to describe. It was like a whoosh, like a whoosh as it's starting to cut out. How'd you go with your ones, Verity?
They were good.
They're good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep yours on. Or do you want to try these ones? Swap to a different pair then?
Yeah.
All right, these are the electric versions of those. So,
And they were very comfy.
very comfy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this pair onto you. All right. I'm going to go for the Howard Lights, which are a gel.
And their electricity as well.
Yep, they're electric.
And we're both on electric.
Okay, so I'm going to turn mine on. Okay. The wind noise isn't as frustrating. It's not as high pitched. It's just sort of like across. I'm standing straight into the wind now. It doesn't seem to be cutting out as badly. Wonder how our microphones are going because I don't have the windsocks on those. We can fix that. All right. Let's put one of these on here. All right, miss, let's get this onto your one. All right, so we're good there. Yeah, okay, so initial thoughts, wind noise isn't bad. I've got a real modular digital noise to my voice, like is very high pitch, I can hear that. But until we start putting rounds down, we're not really gonna know. So let's slip a mag in, you're good to go?
Yep.
All right. Maybe I'll just loosen that off a little bit more. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, you should lube this up more. No, it has just been lubed, but what it is the slide rod's like a Remington 7600, where you've got 2 push rods that go down the side to the bolt and they're flat. So I'll loosen this right off and almost freehand shot, and we'll see how it cycles. But yeah, as you squeeze with the bog pod into it, it kind of grips it and puts pressure onto those. So let's see how we go. I'll try and keep it nice and stable. Pick another target for my group. That's better. All right, so she is, cycling nice and well. And yeah, that's nice and wet in there, but taking that pressure off the sides and it goes well. Now, while I did say that I had a modular sort of feeling to my voice, the cutout was a little bit quicker than the walkers, and it didn't give me a whistle up. It just stopped it. It just went, and that was it. Game over. No extra noise, and it seems to be going pretty well. How'd yours go?
They were good.
Which ones do you prefer? These yellow ones or those black ones? The yellow. Right. Do you want to try these ones?
No.
No. Okay.
Whew.
Let's wind these ones all the way off. That could be why the wind noise is better in this one, because this has got wind socks on it and that one's just straight out. Okay. So, you've got yours. Put your yellows on, please. Let's make sure they're all fitted up nicely. Now, these are the Sordins. The wind noise, yep, when you straight into it, you do get a bit of a... It's not as big a windsock as the Howard Lights there had. But the voice is a little bit more natural. I do have a bit of a echo, so I guess that's, the jaw to the ears happening. And yeah, comfort, we're good. So let's punch a few rounds and see how they cut out compared to the others before we jump onto the pelters. You can hear every bit of the action there. Okay, Miss, you good to go?
Yes.
Squeeze you off a little bit, just make sure that we're good. A little bit more. So I was squeezing just at the front of the foreguard. So what I could always do, no, I'll be right. If I was to clamp it onto the bipod out there. But we are good to go, so let's pick our target. All right, so I'm able to hear the report at the other end. The cutout isn't quite as much, like I wouldn't say it's cutting out quite as much noise as the impact. Like, it's not just making it blank, it's just reducing the noise. So it's, you hear the whole report. You've got the initial blast, and then you've got it hitting the target down the other end, and you've got the whip crack. So it's going pretty good there for hearing the bullet itself rather than just the firearm. So yeah, it's sort of just like going, here's the noise, the gunshot's gone, but it just drops it down, and then it starts to rise up after that initial load. So it's better than a pressure-based headset. All right, so onto the pelter. All right, so they're at full noise. They don't give you quite as much of an amplification as the Sordins do. we've got our wind noise, but wind socks are gone in this. They fit really well. They fit, I'll have to get the calipers and measure it, but the inside here, I think fits differently. So we'll measure the size there, but it feels just a little bit more over my ears. And we'll measure that when we get back to the workshop. But we're here to put rounds down. So let's get a few rounds down with this, and
then we'll move on to the next gun.
we'll get onto the other rifle and we will see if it cycles nicely. Right, so loosening this off so we don't have any misfeed. Okay, well, there we have it. It'll be interesting to see where those are. That one round not cycling out as well. Probably more to do with the heat than anything, and that's something I found with these speed lines, is that they are pretty sensitive to the heat. But I've also kind of messed with it by, while it's shooting, I'm tightening and loosening on the plastic grip there. But much like the Sordins, you're not cutting all the noise out, you're just reducing it so you can still hear everything around. And yeah, I'm just going to break out the other rifle, see if she's good to go, and then we'll get back up to the workshop and talk about these all a bit more. So while I pull the other rifle out, I'm going to try some other headsets. And just slip these in. These are Surefire. Now I'd prefer one of the other, they're like earplugs, but they do the cutting out that these do. I'd prefer another product that Surefire makes, but we aren't allowed those here. We might not, let the camels get away. They might know we're here. All right, so it's all about getting the right fit with these. And I've just put the full noise into it. Give us a talk, Verity. How you going?
Good.
Good. All right, so I'm going to do another 4 with this, and then we'll switch over to the other rifle. But I can hear everything kind of normally. The left is a little bit quieter. That's making me suspicious that the right one's not quite in as well, but generally when you're shooting, it's your left ear that cops the most flack, if you're right-handed.
And that's what's happening with this. So that side's quiet and this side's loud.
Yeah. All right, so I've got these stuffed all the way in as far as I can. It's cheating because I might have aimed for a different target. All right, she's clear. Okay, so yeah. You do, like, it's better than not wearing anything at all. Not quite as much of a cutout as yellow ears. They're reasonably comfortable, although I always sit there and try to adjust them a little bit more. I do have a large set and a medium set. Yeah, they cut it out. They cut it out well enough. Right, 1 round left.
Yep, and
Yeah.
I'll check if there's another box.
No, we're going to use the other rifle. So let's break out my old rifle. Right, and what I've got is I've got a magazine and I've got some PMC. Alright, I've got 3 rounds in my Magpul magazine. It's an Accuracy International pattern type. I like these for the rifle that I'm about to use. They cycle really well. In fact, the chassis that I've got on that rifle and that build is phenomenal. I've put a good 10,000 odd rounds through it in its life on its first barrel. Now I'm onto a second barrel and it's had a few teething issues. So I've done maybe 200 rounds through it on this barrel, but it's been away and it's been getting work on it. And I'm going to see if I've got any difference running these PPU rounds through it. Sorry, these PMC rounds through it instead of the PPU, just like we found with the wedge tail. So let's grab her.
Are you going to try this one as well?
No, that'll certainly jam her up.
Right, here it is.
Yes, right, so no optic on it at the moment because we are just going to be seeing if it cycles up properly. But this is my Remington 700 in 308 in a KRG Whiskey 3 chassis. You'll also note that it's been spray painted with Duracoat, and that was to try and reduce a bit of the heat that I was dealing with. And the original barrel I wore out. The gunsmith said that they hadn't really ever seen that in many rifles in this line of in sports rifles getting melted. But yeah, they said the rifling was gone. So yeah, I'm just going to cycle it up down there and we're going to see if it's if she's good to go again. If it's good to go again, I'm gonna, I don't know, I always ran glass on this. I used to always have a Barris full field E1 on it, which was just brilliant. I couldn't really fault that. But what I might do is I might go digital. I might put the PARD over onto this rifle and sort of see what I can punch her out to, because she was a nice longer range rifle. So confirm 3 rounds. Alright kid, let's see how I just go with like eyeballing it. Let's see if I can hit the steel gong. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, see if she runs alright. Slut right. Oh, straight between it. Nice. You know, that's kind of fun. It is really kind of fun running that PMC stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this last PPU, slip you in there, put these couple of PMCs in, and let's see. You good to go, kid? Slight low. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there. Right, so once you start pushing those rounds in there a little bit quicker, she started to, well, seize up on extraction. It's not anything to do with the extractor though. Mag's out, she's clear. So I've got my new barrel in there, and you can't quite see in there, but it's just at that last point there. I reckon we're starting to sort of swell a little bit in there in that heat, but gosh, I love this rifle. is by far one of my favourite rifles and actions out there. It's just, the Remington 700 is well built and it does the job. And also I am very used to this rifle. I've spent a long time carrying it around, and I've spent a lot of rounds with it. That's why I like it, and it's my first rifle. So yeah, not getting rid of you in a hurry. Right, let's get up there and talk about these headsets. And I might go digital, because I know what I can do with this rifle. If the digital scope doesn't give me 500 meter shots consistently, it might not be everything we thought it was. Let's go to the workshop. Yeah.
Of these sets of earmuffs, the ones I really like about one of them is because one of them are very nice, because they're a nice colour and shade and a picture on them. All the others, they are electricity and they don't have a picture. So that's the difference about these. I really like the yellow ones.
All right, so we've had Verity's verdict on it, but we're going to go through them, and I didn't give you the wild card down there, but I will talk about the wild card. So, a couple of things that I didn't go through on it all was the wild card is the 9mm bullet. Now, yes, these are live rounds. No, they're not going to go off on me. In a desperate situation, you can use a 9mm in your ear and it will block the noise enough that you're not going to damage your hearing permanently. So, yep, you can slip out a couple of rounds and you can pop them in, and they do an incredibly good job of sealing your ears. So, yeah, you can always use those. Now, I did talk about music when shooting, and we'll look at which ones can do that. You've got these Walkers can do it, the Howard Leights can do it, and the Sordin Ace can do it. Now, the ISO tunes that I used to use for work and everything, they are, capable of doing it. But your yellow ears with a pair of Shocks headphones. Now, you can have these on. They fit over the back of your ear, and you can have whatever in-ear headphones you want, like, earplugs and all the like. And you get very good quality of your music, but also they're Bluetooth, so all your modern smartphones, you're gonna be able to make phone calls. Now, that's, not super important, but you also don't end up with like their hearing aid awareness, which it would be really cool to see someone do that sort of tech in a over-the-ear bone conduction headphone for shooting, because then we can just use disposable ears and get a headset like that. So, usually I'm not listening to music when I'm shooting, but if I am, it's something like Billy Joel. No, we are onto the headsets. So, Verity really liked these. One factor being they're yellow and they've got a picture. But that's where the 6-year-old's review comes in. But also because she's not the one on the trigger, these were able to block out all the sound all the time. She could hear me well enough when we're close that she can take and hear under instruction, but more importantly, I could always hear her with whatever hearing protection I was wearing. These weren't the best for me in terms of supervising and hearing Verity. So that's the pair of passives. The Surefires, now these were, adequate. They did a good job. can see that they're kind of grimy and they've got a bit of earwax in amongst them. You just drop them in some warm water and soap and then rinse them with it. And you'll see that this little cap here is for when you're in high intensity noise. And yeah, you can find that this will irritate eventually, but they do a reasonable job. Out here, they get quite dirty. Now, the Walker razors or the Howard Lights. Yeah, these Walker razors, they are very affordable, somewhere around $70 here for us. So in the US, that's what, a $40, $45. They did do a pretty good job of cutting the noise out. It was just a snap cut, which I'm not the biggest fan of for my situational awareness. We can see here that the volume is just a simple roller. That's nice, but they don't have an auto off function. I've upgraded these to the gel cups. The wind noise was pretty bad with the exposed microphones, with these exposed microphones here, and that frustrates me. So that's the Walker razors. Onto the Howard Lights. They too are a click wheel and no auto off function. They run on a AAA battery, and I had a few issues with the battery cup. Like it's this cap occasionally like would pop off, but I think that's just making sure you get it in there right. And we found that it had the windsock, which added to its noise protection. So I liked that, and we've got a steel band through the top there. Same with the Walkers, they're a steel band in that, or at least a wire band with some poly. But they do spring back pretty well. Onto our Sordin Ace. We're stepping up a bit in price here, and this was one of the ones that I couldn't ever find a review of, is between the Sordin Ace and the MSA Sordin. Now, I believe that's just because it's like different parts of the same factory and branding, and these came with gels straight out, whereas the MSA Sordins don't. So, do what you may. But there are a lot of people who weren't buying these because there weren't any reviews out there. I reckon that for the couple of bucks difference between these and the Pros or the MSA Pros, I'd go these. To me, they've got very good noise cancellation because they just reduce it. They've got an auto off function. They come with the gel cups. The gel cups are around $30 to replace them. And the only thing you could really say in a downside is it's a plastic band. But that isn't really that much of a concern to me. They've got nice arches over here to work with, and 3 buttons, one for on, gives you an audible tone and tells you every time you change your volume up or down. And they don't work half bad as music headphones, but that's not what we're here for. Now we are going to go to the most expensive pair, which is the Peltors. So when you're talking Australian dollars, you're looking around $400 for the Sordins, and then you get up to a Comtac. Now you'll be on the newer generations, but you're getting close to your 900 to 1,000 Australian dollars for them. Now they had very good noise cancellation. The amplification wasn't quite as high as the Sordins, but remember how much work these have done and the amount of years they've been around. They also have auto off. And there we have a good wire band with leather on the top. For the size of the ear cups, and it could be a perceived difference, looking at the Peltors, top to bottom, we are at 66 mil, and that's the same size as the Howard Lights and the razors, and those ones will be the same. But the Sordin is actually a little bit taller. Ever so slightly taller, and is like about almost 5 mils difference. So if you've got big ears, you might want to consider the Sordins. And yeah, really, all of them will do the job. Some hearing protection is better than no hearing protection. The pelters fold up nicely like that. The Sordin doesn't quite, but you know, you can pinch it tight to fit it into a pocket. The Howard Lights, they will punch in nice and tight. It's like their form shape, and the Walkers come in nicely as well. A bit more of a circular shape there. Well, that's kind of it really. There is a marked difference between these lower end and the higher end headphones. And I'd really like to know your opinions if you've got other headsets that you've tried or used and which ones are your favourite. Going through it all, I think that these Walkers are probably appropriate for very occasional shooting. But if we're out shooting and we're out, let's say, shooting for, like go out on the weekend with your mates shooting, do you not deserve to have the best communications and best gear? I don't know. If you're spending a lot on a rifle and on optics and other gear, I'd probably say spend it on the things that you can't get back. You can't get your hearing back, and you can't get your eyes back. And we're pretty good at surgery with fingers, but I'll get onto gloves another day. The really top end of your pelters and going into your Comtacs is when you start adding things like your NATO plug, where you've got your personal roll, or you can hook it into a UHF radio. Those, they're supreme. They're really good. And if we were doing a hell of a lot more coordinated shooting, like air to ground, I would be thinking that spending that 1,300 Australian dollars on a pair would probably be worth it. But at the moment, using a normal radio and then amplified headphones works fairly well, and it seems to come across pretty well. But I do miss having that button. So really, in summary, on these headsets, the pelters are definitely really good, but I don't think they're worth the $300 or $400 difference to the Sordins. And I guess it's kind of a time will tell. We could come back in 10 years and see if the Sordins are still going. But they are the Sordin Ace Pro, and I would say that they are more than adequate for doing the job. They've got a much better battery compartment than the Razors or the Howard Lights, and it's easily fixed out in the field. Yes, it's a waterproof plug, and yes, it is a AAA.
Oh, you can't get the
Once you
battery out.
get it out.
There you go.
But I have to admit that I would trust these things through a fair bit of work. So, let us know what headsets you reckon, and if you're thinking that, safety's worth quality gear. But I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who's commented on the channel about audio and asked us questions about, our headsets, and also sent in some stuff for Verity for her hearing protection, but it's just because you lost your other pair.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. Also, again, thank you to Australian Sporting Agencies, and also if you have prescription glasses, please check out iSports. It's who I use, and I recommend that. Really can't recommend them enough. Right, until the next review video, I don't think we have time to fit up that scope to the rifle because it's probably time to get ready for dinner.
Yep.
So, thank you, Verity, my lovely co-host. Is there anything else you would like to finish off with or say thank you for?
No.
No? I'm Jack.
And I'm Verity. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time. Good work, kid.